So,
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
All right. Welcome to the Patriot Hour. Scott Woodman.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, brothers. All right. We got some people in the room. Popcorn we're hearing. Trying to make that bigger for you guys, but all right. So we got Scott joining in. He's in his mobile office today. We got Woodman down below. How's everyone doing this morning?
Fantastic.
Waiting for this storm to approach us here in northern Indiana.
Yes. You got some weather coming, folks, in the Midwest.
Anybody in the HVAC business is about to get real busy.
Oh yeah.
I think we got 6 to 12 inches, and then we got right behind it, we got 0 and sub-zero late night weather, so that ought to be interesting.
Yes. So what's going on in the world? What's on anything breaking you guys want to jump into here?
What do you say, Scott?
You want me?
Yeah.
Well,
Scott.
I just went over some preliminary notes with you guys. I guess we can probably jump all over the place, but a couple of ones that I'm finding very intriguing. I guess I'll go reverse order. It's funny that I just heard on the radio right before we got on here that now all of a sudden the Democrats and the liberals are saying that Cohen is credible enough to be heard, and he's supposed to be trustworthy now. All of a sudden, Trump's a villain, and Trump set me up, and Trump asked me to do this. But it wasn't all that long ago that they were on the other side of that saying, we can't trust Cohen. He's a liar. He's Trump's lawyer. He's untrustworthy. But isn't it strange now that all of a sudden they're willing to go on his word just to further this impeachment process that they're dreaming up?
I agree. So he's not credible. He's credible. He's not credible. He's credible. Whatever fits their narrative at the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
yeah. That's exactly how I would put it.
PA 18 inches in Pennsylvania. They got 18 inches in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but that's the snow belt there. I've been up and down that east side of those lakes. I've been all over the Great Lake area, and that Erie, Cleveland, Pennsylvania area gets dumped on. So that's stay away from that area if you can. So the other one, the biggest story going on right now, and I wanted to chime in the other day. I was driving, and I was commenting when you guys were live the other day talking about the Vegas shooting and all that, and I kept screaming with my text in there about the angles of the shots and everything.
Yes.
I really wanted to jump in on that. Nobody ever really said anything or caught my message, but isn't it odd that they didn't release the autopsies? And the autopsies that they didn't release any that, well, I guess they did release some. There were wounds that were coming linear, right? So if you're on the ground firing straight at my chest, that angle wound would be a straight through wound, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
But this guy supposedly shot from 37 degrees or 39 degrees up so high. So if he was the lone shooter, why in the hell are there wounds coming straight through people's foreheads, straight through their chests? One guy got a wound and he lived, and that sucks for the media or the cover-up because the wound came straight through his leg.
Yeah.
Now, some of the conspiratists or the cover-up guys are saying, well, those probably are ricochet bullets. But anyway, I just wanted to say, the other day I was trying to chime in so I can understand. I'm starting to understand how hard it is to keep up with everybody that's texting and commenting. As an administrator, I was shocked that I'd type something and boom, it'd be gone in 10 seconds, so nobody could really pick up on it.
Yeah, we could slow down I have the option to go in slow-mo. I might do that it just depends. Like right now I'm not paying attention to how many are in the room, but we got to.
And for me, it's I obviously, because I'm on my phone and I'm mobile, I really, and the phone's so far away from me, I can't see the comments. But one of the biggest ones before I go into this 11 o'clock meeting, I wanted to get on with you guys and get your opinions or thoughts, or find out if everybody else is agreeing with us. But this entire the wall, the Pelosi wanting to go and to the east for, 8 days, and Trump cancels the trip as they get on the bus. I find it entertaining. Where is our thought process as Patriots, as a group? I'm sure we're all on the same page, but why in the world, they gave him crap when he wanted to go to Balago and go on his golf trips and everything else. But, at Christmas, he visited the troops. He's been home. He stayed in D.C. through this entire shutdown. He's trying to get things done. And they're taking vacations in Puerto Rico. She went to Hawaii on Christmas. They just thought it was a good idea to take this international trip. They did say Afghanistan, but there were some lavish areas they were going to go to. And the backlash now from the left and the media is Trump's an idiot. He's slowing down international politics. This trip needed to happen. Why should they be allowed to spend money and go on these lavish trips when they just turned around, or right before that, said there's 800,000 people going without paychecks and are going to be hurting? How can they find themselves non-hypocritical or well, I don't even know what word I'm looking for, relevant if they're going to do these trips and spend all this money? How can they then turn around and ask and use that as a complaint or an argument that 800,000 people are without work right now?
Yeah. I agree with that, and I think they're never, like, this is just another chance for them not to be logical, because they haven't been logical in 2 years. It's no matter what Trump does, and here's a classic case of it, like you said, with Cohen's not credible, his lawyer, when they found out certain things. Once they find out they can use against Trump, then he's credible all of a sudden. How about fire Comey for what he did to Hillary at the time? They were really all mad, said that he didn't deserve to have that job. 6 months goes by, Trump decides to fire him, then it's a crisis. They're calling the government shutdown a crisis. They don't think the border wall is, but the same media pundits are now calling a government crisis. Folks, they're operating better than they ever have right now, they said, with the slimline, without all the bureaucracy in the way, without a lot of the, let's be true here, lazy federal workers. I've been on tons of military bases. I've seen the waste, fraud, and abuse, live time, real time. This is a chance for Trump to trim the fat. I don't think we're going to come back the way we were. If we come back up, when the government opens up, it should be a government of the people, by the people, for the people. That's what I'm thinking we're heading into. We're entering into historical times where we've never been over the 30. Today, at the end of business, we enter into the rift. Trump can start doing the reduction in force, literally laying off. And people are like, that's sad. We have 8. Nobody cared in 08 when half the country wasn't working and all the crisis happened. The government didn't skip a beat. The well-oiled machine kept going. I'm just saying, if it does come up, it should be a much smaller government. And this is where, people, we want small government. We're going to shut down the base in your town then. Wait, not the base here. That hurts my town.
Right.
What do we want? Well, we got to think logically what we really want. What do you guys think?
Mike, you just took a lot of the words right out of my mouth. This is what's been going on in my brain for 48 or 72 hours. One of his campaign promises was the wall, right? So that would be number 10, 11, or 12 on his list that he gets to check off. But the biggest one, drain the swamp, and they made jokes about it, blah, blah, blah. What they didn't see coming was what's going on right now. This is a poker game, a chess game. He set all this up. If anybody thinks that he wasn't planning on doing this, I'm not saying he planned on a shutdown, but he positioned himself to minimize federal government, minimize waste. And what these politicians are asking of the American people is sickening. And I mean it like this. When the automotive industry collapsed, there was bailouts for the companies, but nobody cared that those employees were out of jobs. When the housing market, by the way, backed and funded by the United States government, federal loans, they knew what they were doing. It should have been illegal. They all should have been strung up on the streets and shot. But nobody cared when all them employees lost their jobs, but they bailed the banks out, right? So what we have found is the government is corrupt. It's too big. It's wasteful spending. This $5 billion for this wall is minuscule compared to the waste and the bailouts of big banks, big business. And I don't remember anybody in the media complaining or whining about bailout for the average Joe, us three, our listeners, other Americans. If you were making $30,000 to $70,000 a year, pardon my, well, I'm not going to swear. I'm getting passionate though. They didn't care, but now all of a sudden, people in their own club, federal employees, are suffering. You know what? Maybe it's time for you to suffer. Maybe it's time to come back to reality.
Nice. No, that is a very true statement, Scott.
I'm sick of it. I'm completely sick of the hypocrisy and asking the American people that pay these people's wages, and then they blatantly, right in front of us, go to Puerto Rico, and then they try to spin it when they get caught. They went with lobbyists. They didn't pay for nothing. I almost swore again. They didn't pay for a darn thing. They got all these fancy dinners. Well, we were talking and we're delegating and we're worrying about the future. I don't care what it is you were doing. You're asking everybody else that gets laid off and without a paycheck to starve, to find another way. I'm okay with that. Toughen up, Buttercup. Get out there in the real world. Take care of your family. Don't ask, like JFK, what the country can do for you. What can you do for the country? But these hypocritical clowns are literally, and their followers, they're the people voting for them, their constituents, don't even realize, or they're not even awake to the fact they're being used. They don't care about you. You're not in their club. The minute you think you're in their club, they got you. But let me ask you, the last time they paid your mortgage payment when you were laid off, or your car payment, or put food on your table. But we're supposed to care about them? Get out of here with that.
Exactly. They're screaming now to hurry up and open up the government just so they can go business as usual. There's two sets of contracts for laid off or furloughed in government, and we've only always all this time people have always only gone to the 30-day or under rules. Nobody's ever had to go to the 30 and over. So we're entering into this 30 and over, and you can get into the riff. I like to call it the dark government riff that's getting ready to come, folks. And hopefully,
I wanted to ask Woodman something. And I'm not mocking or making fun of his age, but him being the elder, in your lifetime, now that you have seen and you've lived this long, you've seen some of the same people in politics. I'm 38 years old now. There are people in politics damn near as long as I am old, and you've watched these same people stay in politics. The Kennedy's gone now, but Kennedy, McCain, Pelosi's, the Schumers. What was the feeling back then versus now? Is your mind blown? Like, why didn't we stop this years ago? I mean, what's your thoughts here, Woodman?
Well, the first wake-up call was when they actually assassinated JFK. That put everybody in shock. They didn't want to. It was easy for a cover-up on that one. You know what I mean? Because technology hadn't been, whatever. You're talking. It's been quite a while ago.
Real quick, Woodman, what was the consensus of why he got shot? Just within days of it. I know people are like, oh, they didn't like him, but why? What was going around?
He was blowing the whistle. I don't have it recorded, but he was blowing the whistle.
Back then, you knew that?
Well, if you heard that speech, because he pointed out just exactly what we, the people, need to do to get rid of our corrupt government, period. And he was explaining avenues of how everything was going on, like how they actually control the money, how they're going to try and get a world order, a one world order. He was talking about that back then, trying to wake people up, not to make them aggravated and go ballistic, just get organized and make a few changes to make things correct. you have to yank out half the government because, right now, well, you would because right now, these people have been doing it for a long time, and they have this river flowing, real smooth. They don't want
Well-oiled machine.
rocks. They don't want nothing. Yeah, they don't want nothing in the way to slow it down. You know, if you get in there and try to do that kind of a job, they'll get rid of you. That's all there is to it
Yeah.
because you're
I
not on board with them. They don't want to give up what they got. We've seen it for I don't know how many years, and the government just keeps lying, lying, lying. Well, there's certain things that come out to make the American dream that they really hide a lot of facts with saying stuff like that, making little points where, oh yeah, this is great, great. And the same time when they're saying this is great, they're screwing you about 10 more times somewhere else. And
they're
that's a
really
fact.
they're really good at it, and I'll give them credit. And when I say they, obviously it's not the same person in power that was there 50 years ago, but because of no limits here, they've gotten good. It is a club, and they protect themselves. And you're absolutely right. If you try to intervene with that, Trump was part of that club, not as a politician, but he was privy. He was privy, and now he's trying to blow a whistle. And I pray for him often. I pray for his safety often because I don't want another JFK situation. But isn't it strange, and it would not be shocking, the government was behind it. The government was absolutely behind it. But then they bring up these conspiracy theories to cover it up. And what I've noticed in my lifetime, especially the last 10 years as I've matured a little bit more, they do a very good job of the minute too much attention is being drawn to one situation or something that might blow a whistle. Isn't it weird or convenient that within hours or even the next day, the media is talking about something new, and they use Hollywood actors and actresses as a way to deflect and get away from something, which is so petty, and we shouldn't pay attention, but we do because it's in our face. But they are professional Wizard of Oz's, I always call them. You got them behind the curtain, and then we're only seeing what we're supposed to see. And God bless JFK for trying to do what he did. He paid the ultimate sacrifice. That is probably the biggest scam on the American people in our entire history.
Yeah. Well,
and
that's what the story says. Is that JFK tried to do it, but he wasn't insulated. He tricked everyone and took a list, and then when he came out with that speech, and then he came out with Executive Order 1110, he was going to give the power back to the Treasury to print gold-backed, silver-backed money, silver certificates, and he $4.6 billion of silver-backed was coming out. Boom, dead 3 weeks later. He was going against this system that goes all the way over to England, that goes way, the people that we see on TV, guys, we all know, they're like getting orders like in the military. They get voted in, they get a little corrupt, but the order comes from down, and they don't know why. These people, Pelosi's and Schumer's and Chuck's, they're still playing this game from their puppets. And they know it doesn't make sense at this point. But what do you do when you're backed in the corner? So we're seeing I think Trump studied this for 25 years, knows it really, really well. And if you're going to beat this system up, you better know it well. You better be insulated. But he's a virus. And then he went into the inside of this, and he's corrupting it.
Good for you. Good for you. The word you keep using is insulated. And I love JFK. He's one of my favorite people in history. But what you just said is absolutely perfect. He wasn't insulated, meaning he didn't know how to play poker. He didn't set himself up to be protected. He didn't get the right Justice Department. He didn't get the right people. So, and this is what the patience, and now I'm getting real excited because for a long time we kept using the word patient. Trump couldn't come in and just do something right away, or it would have just been, he needed to get the people seeing it. He needed to get the momentum going. He needed to remove certain people that were implemented by HRC and Obama and their Justice Department. Now he's getting his own people in, and every move is being attacked by the media and the extreme left is because they know what's coming.
Yes.
They now see it. He laid the foundation, And probably about a year ago, they went, "Oh my God, he is so much smarter than we anticipated." And now they're just like you said, they're in a corner. They absolutely are going to fight any and all things that he wants to do, and any and all people he tries to appoint or are socialized with. For that reason, they're in panic mode. And I
Yes.
didn't even see it coming at this level. I was hoping it would come. He is so much smarter than I even gave him credit for.
Yes.
And I knew he was pretty intelligent. But anyway, gentlemen, I know you guys are going to carry the show on. I got an 11 o'clock coming up that I got to get to.
Yes.
Thanks for getting me in here real quick. I hope I got some juices going. I'm all fired up.
Remember this.
Get back in right after this meeting.
Just remember this when you go. These people that we're watching right now is never interrupt your enemy when they're in the process of screwing themselves.
Yeah.
They're self-destructing. They're
Yep.
Everything's happening for a reason. We got to witness this, because then when
Yep.
the truth comes out, there's no defending it. So, all right, brother, give the people a final words of encouragement coming into this weekend.
Well, hopefully you recorded this on Patriot Hour, because I that was probably one of my best rants ever, and it's been on my mind for the last 24, 48 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, understand that this is the change that it's needed. I'm not asking you to agree with my opinion, but really look at history, really look at what's been going on. Look at career politicians. Look at the corruption, the waste. Look how they're trying to get you to smoke and mirrors, pay attention. $5 billion is a lot of money. No, it's not. It is not. Look at our annual budget. We give more money. We give over $100 billion a year to our enemies in foreign aid. Maybe that's what he meant about the wall. Mexico will pay for it. Just deduct $5 billion from the $18 billion we give them. But ultimately, don't fall for the charades. Understand that this is a revolution that can happen without bloodshed. If the American people open their eyes and understand what Thomas Jefferson and our founding fathers had intended for us. Small government. The people have the power. Understand that you have that power. Don't let a politician or news media make you feel like you're just one little apple, because you're not. You're in an entire orchard of all of us. So I'm using a lot of metaphors and puns, but anyway, I got this meeting to go to. God bless you guys.
This is being recorded. Make sure when check it out on the Patriot Hour later. I'll send you a link. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
Woodman,
brother.
Love you, man. Good seeing you, brother. Mikey, I'll talk to you later.
You too.
Patriots, be good.
All right.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. Let me move you
Fantastic.
on up. Let me move you on up, brother.
All right. Yeah, it's kind of really neat how they're coming up with all kinds of different stuff. Old stuff now about trying to keep the people's attention away from where they're getting screwing up. Especially this Pelosi thing. Holy cow. A busload of people getting ready to go. Are you kidding me? A busload, Well,
Yeah.
they were going to do some kind of overseas thing. Well, that's why Trump said you can use commercial airlines if you want. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because it's a vacation, but they're trying to turn it around where it's not a vacation. There was going to be, some security deal in Middle East, And,
the wheels on the bus go round and round. All right.
Yeah.
And they went around and around the Capitol building like 3 times before they parked, because they never made it to the tarmac. Now check it out. Scott hit a lot of good points. You guys, I'm going to show you. That's up to Woodman. Do you want to watch this 8-minute video? I haven't even put it out to the Patriot Hour yet. We got about 200 people in here, and this is a good one, folks, on the Fed. What we were just talking about, what needs to happen. I think we should watch it, then it'll give us something to talk about. You good with that, Woodman?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to put this up. We'll be back afterwards, folks. It's only it's about 8 minutes, I think. So here we go. I got to get it. And I called it. end of central banking. The economy is imploding. Expect all fingers pointing at the Fed. Central banking is the single biggest threat for humanity. The promise of socialism is the justification to plunder. The economy is in a meltdown. The world's monetary system is being deliberately destroyed. Consequently, the economic signals that guide the markets, which in a free market are supposed to represent the supply and demand decisions of billions of people, have up to now all been totally false, despite frequent denials by the central banks and most mainstream economists. These distortions in the market are a result of intentional manipulations of currency and precious metal values around the world by these central bankers, crafted in response to demand for competing export opportunities, easy money, and cheaper credit by governments. The world is indoctrinated to believe that paper money, the symbol of wealth, is that can deliver all the benefits of the free market, while gold is a barbarous, useless metal. This, of course, isn't true. All central banks are owned by Rothschild. All these banks are responsible for the economic problems. Therefore, all these banks must be brought down together. In other words, we must bring down the entire Rothschild banking system. We must break away from the central banking system and return to a people's currency system by implementing a people's economy. It should be an economy in which we, the people, are in charge and in full control of the money supply. You know, like our Constitution says. Most people overlook this aspect of the economy, but this monetary system is a great part of the deep state's power. By controlling the currency system of every country, the people of the world are easily controlled, with economic growth instituted on the base of fraud and corruption. That's the reason why these central banks don't want to be audited. The banking system is riddled with waste, fraud, abuse, crime, corruption, blackmail, deception. And when one takes a deeper look into the governments that are factually based on this Rothschild system, it's all about crime and corruption. It is the exact same thing that takes place in the financial sector. What needs to be done is the entire economic system needs to be brought to its knees, like they've brought countries. While all the crimes of the complicit banksters needs to be exposed. But before they are brought down, Trump is continually blaming the central bank for the bad economy, over and over again. Why? In order to waken people up, so they are awake to these truths and eventually better understand and see this gigantic crime network for what it is, working against humanity. Meanwhile, Trump has tricked the MSN, mainstream media, to go along with him, where they are too now blaming the Fed bank system for deteriorating the economy. It is impossible to improve the current economy with a financial system that is based on this debt. The whole system has to be destroyed. The power must be given back to the people, since all financial schemes are malicious Rothschild inventions, including institutions like the BIS, the IMF, the ECB, the WB, the BOJ, so on, so forth. By raising the interest rates, the system will break down, at which time the focus can be shifted to the Fed, the ECB, the BOJ, etc. Central banking is the single biggest threat for humanity. The central bank is the biggest threat to the world. The amount of control and power that a central bank has in each country is simply off the charts. No one else has so much power, enabling them to make or break countries by putting countries into debt. Matter of fact, the only thing that gives our money value is how much of it is in circulation. Therefore, the power to regulate the money supply is also the power to regulate its value, which is also the power to bring entire economies and societies to its knees. Look no further than in the 1930s here in America. Now the central banks consequently do exactly what they want. Once a country is put into debt, for then they have the leverage to control them. They know this very well. They've studied it, they've practiced it, and they've done it in real time for centuries. This truly is the single biggest threat to the world. That is the reason this financial system has got to be destroyed, while at the same time making sure that never again does a central bank wiggle its way into existence anywhere. The people have a right to coin their own currency. Nowadays, governments are devaluing the money constantly, causing everything that people have worked for to disappear right before their very eyes. We simply need to return to a real asset-backed monetary system without a private central bank, and let the people take control. Now keep in mind, the Federal Reserve Central Bank is the last remaining game of the deep state. The Federal Reserve is its backbone. Reports suggest that the alliance is preparing for one last push on the deep state by proposing to end the Fed. Now this termination will be the final blow that will render the deep state powerless, ensuring their complete demise. There's no turning back for them this time. The course of humanity will be changed in the blink of an eye. It will be shocking, and many who are oblivious to the truth will be overwhelmed and most likely in disbelief. The beginning of a very painful process of awakening for those who are not yet awake. I'm Michael. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. And remember, this is not about religions or party affiliation. Evil is everywhere. There are no drawn lines, no boundaries. Good versus evil. There is nothing more precious than our children. The choice to know will be ultimately yours. These people are sick, and good will always defeat evil. And we understand that there is extreme fatigue and frustration regarding the wheels of justice and how they move slow, but exclude your emotion and your personal desire. Instead, use logic and critical thinking based on situational awareness. What does it take to undo a lifetime of evil and corruption and infestation to the highest levels in the span of less than 2 years with a corrupt DOJ and FBI and etc. and so on? This is process and planning of law and order, a military operation at its finest. God bless. All right, you guys got a little bit of a sneak peek at that for those of you that are here.
Look good, Mike. Look real good. Bad thing about this evil thing, is one word is deception. They're really they're professionals. Deception.
What does it say? Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think of something I've heard on that line. It's like the devil is the best misconstruist, the ultimate deceptor.
You
Father
know
of
it. You know.
lies. Father of lies, you know.
Yep. You know it. You know it.
So, and
Yes,
also
indeed.
that's another way, folks. The devil's not going to come at you and everything, it's going to come to you and everything you ever wanted. That's how the deception works, everything that you sometimes want, if it's not correctly the right thing, it'll come to you in those forms. It'll come to you to deceive you from, something that that's just how it works. All right. The master of deception. Let's just put it that way. Like Woodman was saying. I heard some people in there. What do we do with the money? It's not about individually taking your own money. That is what is in play right now and throwing it out the window, folks. That's not what we're saying. There is a reset getting ready to happen. All right. In simplest terms, for those of you that sometimes have a hard time following along or understanding, and trust me, I did as well for many and many a years. I'm just in the last several years really understanding, and I still learn new things every day because there's so many angles, so many facets, so many rabbit holes, it's a spider web, a plate of spaghetti. It's an entangled vast system, and it's hard to get through and understand, but the bottom line is we're supposed to be printing our own money. Do our mints reside in DC? No. Does our treasury, we have the Fort Knox where our gold's supposed to be, then we have our mints. We're supposed to print our own. And people will say, well, we do. Well, the Fed controls that. They'll make the call to the mint and say, do this. And there's a transfer of banknotes for this. But we get told we do not control our money. We do not.
No, the Federal Reserve does all that stuff.
Which the
They
Federal
control
Reserve is not no
they,
more federal than Federal Express. It's just a crafty name, by the way. See, when
and
these
they
guys came
control
back
the
around in
like.
1913, they knew, like, well, last time when they threw us out of the not wanting to work with us in 1776, and then they were coming back. The minute we would get rid of them this time, we'd have to keep our eyes open huge because they'd be trying to come back and get embedded again and get in between us and our own government, our own right to be our government and print our own money and be in control. Of course, they want to get in between that. That's typical. That's how it works. What can you expand on that, Woodman? What is your thoughts? If we go through a reset, it might be the money that we're walking around with today is got the new backing behind it until they could print out possibly new looking money to get away from their Illuminati ridden money with all the secrets on it and stuff. Maybe we could have a true bill. But what are your thoughts on that?
Seems to me we've already done that once, didn't we?
In
Changed
17?
our money structure.
Oh yeah, they've
No,
done that. Yeah.
even even
Just
e- even after 1776, they done it after that. I don't
yeah.
remember why, but it was changed. It's going to be confusing at first, sure, just like any change of anything. Um, and it's not going to be like a wham, here it is, deal with it. It's going to be a small, slight transition. It's not going to be anything heavy duty. It it depends. It mainly depends on what kind of resistance there is from these evil people, as far as what reactions will be happening. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't know about how deep it's going to go, as far as how far they want to fight it certain ways, and how there are different avenues of redirecting everybody's attention to doing, like, oh man, you can't have this. This is not going to work because of, they're going to come up with all kinds of reasons why it's not going to work because of, you know what I mean? Um,
I want to
but
say
sorry about those people.
I would
You know
like
what I
to.
mean?
Yes, I would like to position. Let me do this here. All
Really, folks,
right.
deception is the main thing, and it's terrible because sometimes you don't even realize that anything has happened until it's too late. Um, Deception, God, those guys, man, they're good. They really are. You've heard the phrase. He's so good he could sell ice cream cones in Alaska. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's still people out here. I just saw it a little bit ago. We couldn't jump into it because we're talking about totally different stuff. But you just see a random, is Q real? I heard the fango. Okay, folks, we're going to hit this one on the head right now because I've been wanting to talk about it. If at this point you don't believe in something, now most of the fact that people have followed along with Q is like, well, he said this and this didn't happen, so therefore it's fake. So again, if we had a military operation unfolding and you just told people things and next Friday this is going to happen, and there's never been really times like that with predicted a date of something going down. It was always, we were also told from the very beginning, disinformation is necessary. So PSYOP. Yes, that's a psychological operation. That's what people don't get. All right, can you have a hacker? I'm technically a hacker myself with all the schooling I've had in security fields. You can be a bad hacker, which is called black hat. You can be a white hat, which is maybe a hacker that would work for the good, right? That's very simple. And then you have a gray hat, which is borderline. They can take money sometimes and do bad things, and they can take money and do good things, or they could, however you want to look at it, folks. If you had a PSYOP that was to wake you up, just like what's all happening, it can still be considered a PSYOP. That's a technical term, but all it did was the mission, the objective was to wake you up, to make you learn facts. The end result was to have you awake and aware of what is going on in real time around you. So these terms that people use, that's a PSYOP. That doesn't necessarily mean bad. They don't even know what they're talking about. I would say this. When you listen to these channels, they are desperate. All right. They are very desperate people out there. Some of these people are pizza delivery guys, and I'm not knocking on it, but they get home, they take off their uniform, and then they want to jump on real quick. And if you look at some of these people's angles out there, they have been trying to discredit Q from the beginning. When that didn't work, they changed their agenda. Now they're Q. Now they're this. You tell them, well, go post something. Well, I can't because I started it, but then it got taken from me. So and that's pretty sad if somebody wants to take credit for starting Q, but yet it's like, well, what was your result with that? What was your game? You're supposed to, how have other people taken it away from you and done so much better with it? If you started it, you can look at their subscribers. They don't have the numbers. So it's like they started something, but everyone else did way better with it than what they did. That's pretty sad. It's not true, folks. They're desperate. They're looking for subscribers. They're looking to get attention. Of course, if you could, I don't care about bull crap things that you could manipulate from in the very beginning, we don't care. Go make a post, do something now, go take it back since you're so genius. It's all, that's a LARP. They're live action role playing. It's an attention getter. Of course, by putting Q, the same people that don't believe in Q, they'll put Q in their titles all the time to get people to come there. So they're using Q. They're sitting in an area for months trying to tell you that it's not real when they should be looking into the damn Fed Reserve and what they've done to us because they don't know about it, and waking up and promoting truth instead of sitting there squalling in an area to try to disprove something to you. And then what, after all this time that comes, I was, and they don't have nothing. It's just a talking point. It's a very weak idea that they have. So you can believe it, but the bottom line is, in the same breath, the Q is not real, but man, there is something big going down. There's something happening, and they can't quite figure it out because there is something happening. There is something brewing. That's what we've all known this whole time. So while they were sitting there squalling, trying to tell you Q's not real, Q's not real, Q, now it's I was Q, I am Q. Come on. You want to go swim in shit some more? Go ahead. Join us over here for reality of things are going down. All right. You guys are awake. Think about it. Take your own logic for what, like, how is Q screwed you over? Well, I know a lot more about the Fed Reserve, about the, what needs to happen, what my personal this is and what they're doing here. And we're in tune with the people around Trump and what's going on. And you could sit there and say, I haven't seen any arrests yet, so that's why it's not real. That could be a valid little thing. But like, again, I've said the rest won't happen until they kind of all happen at once. Now, has there been some behind the scenes people going down one by one? Are we getting fake tweets out of some of these people? If you look like, I guess, at a Barack Obama, everything he's been posting is like known to be old stock. Who's controlling that Facebook, possibly, for the guise of it all? I don't know that to be true either. It is a big picture here to try to keep an eye on everything. But I would just say use your logic. The guy that wants to tell you, I'm Q, I started it, and then, you quit this, go start following him, and you'll just have a headache and you'll be in a circle jerk. What are you going to do? Play video games, sit there and bebop while the show comes on, rapping a little bit, and follow this. This is a better story. Yeah. Go follow that.
Well, they'd rather get you to spend your time dicking around with that as opposed to focusing on the truth. That's their game. Mike, you hit it right on the head too. Gee whiz, I'm cute. Come
Yeah,
on,
they tried to
man.
discredit it the whole time, and then it finally comes out that they were it. Yeah, come on. You just discredited yourself. And you were never credible. And that's the sadder part. If I sat out and started something, a business, let's say I'm going to go start a business, and everyone else around me does better and makes more money, or, it's not about the money, but it's like subscribers. Your thing would be, I'm going to start something so I can gain a bunch of this. I would assume if you're starting it, you're the one that's wanting to make a bunch of money. You're the one that wants to make a bunch of subscribers. You're creating this illusion, but yet you sucked at it. You literally sucked at it. You admit that within a week or two, it got taken over and you lost control. And then you spent the last year going around, and this is many of people involved in this umbrella. Because I can show you Bill Maher saying that he was Q on HBO. Well, he was joking. This guy said it. There's been like dozens of people that have already said this, that they were. Why do you think? Because they're desperate human beings. And then if they can convince 5 of you out of 1,000, you joined them, and now you're on their journey of BS, learning about nothing, actually being more stupid when you get done watching. So make your choice, folks. Think logically for yourself, where you're at in your life, and what do everyone gets different information out of everything, but some of these knuckleheads out there are just full of smoke. They're actors. If they're not being paid by these same people that we're trying to expose, which some of them could be, they are just lost human beings. And they don't have anything. They don't have anything.
Well,
I think it's funny that, like I said, think about that. I'm going to go start a hot dog stand, but somehow everyone that comes up to buy hot dogs is better off than you. So you're idiot.
It still boils down to there's like probably 10 or 12 people, in all honesty, that rule the whole entire world. And this is really true, people. That's where that's where the puppet effect comes in handy there, because they control so much of what's going on. They've almost got us. They've got us 50-50, or a little, now probably 60-40 maybe even 70-30. We got to take that back. Listen, no kidding. They control the money, how everything flows. Uh, they can put people out, like even in the streets, the slums, or whoever, whatever. They can really do that. They cloud people's minds enough to where they might start spreading it around. They might even get paid for doing it. Or they might, you know, come in with some kind of fake thing saying we're doing a certain type of survey in this whole entire area over here, getting information from people, or point out certain bad things or whatever, and tell them, we'll pay you for it, your time or whatever. Then they compile all that, you know what I mean? And then they throw that back at us. They are very intelligent people. Uh, like I said earlier, deception, and these people are really good at it. The the 10 or 12 people that really rule the world, everybody wants to be their buddy, and when they get so high up, they're just like blindly on board. And what they do is it's their job to try and figure out a way to go ahead and sell it to people, or put it in action. That's my opinion.
No, I
What do you
agree.
think, Mike?
I was looking at some comments here. Bill Mars, and yeah, and then again, I saw, like you guys said, Corsi, Jerome Corsi. You had Alex Jones onto the Q thing in the beginning, but once they wanted to do their separation, I was like, yeah, we got our own inside guy, we got our own leaker, and we think our intel's better over here. So he was using the pitch of, you know, our sources are better than the Q sources, so watch our show. And I mean, there's the guys everywhere, folks. Like I said, I don't care at this point if Q was real or not. And if somebody tries to, well, I started it, and it got taken over. That's a sad situation. How you missed out on your own idea. It's just a funny little, go take it back. Go focus on that. Go take it back, and make a awesome post that lets us know that it's you. Yeah, folks, don't worry. Make your own mind up. You listen to all the garbage you have to, but please, we don't even need it brought up over here. I mean, we want to hear it all, but as far as, like, do we need to even go that route and sit here and talk about, is Q this, is Q real, is it this person? Because I want to know. Well, it's just a fairy tale, and we don't like to even go down it. I mean, that's, other people operate within fairy tales their whole lives, and I just don't have the time. Some of these people just don't deserve the time of day, is all it is. All right, we're going to shut this down. We're hitting an hour. Woodman, any nice closing thoughts? We'll possibly, definitely tomorrow, I'd like to get back, if not later today. Tomorrow we can definitely do a mid-morning show if you're available, up for it. Possibly later today, nothing too late. It didn't work out last night, folks. I didn't even get back on as well. I worked on something pretty late in the evening, but I finished it up this morning. But yeah, Woodman, final thoughts coming into the day 30 Sunday. So now here's the thing. We got a blood moon on Sunday. It's day 30 of the shutdown. I think we're on working day 22 today, which count day 30. Today would have been 22 working days at the end of shift. Today is pretty much what we need to make it to get into this possible reduction of force. These are just facts. People are like, there ain't no reduction of force happening or gonna happen. Well, there's paperwork that says it can. That's what I'm led to believe. I think Trump's all about smaller government, less interfering in individuals' lives, natural law versus DC BS law. I'm so awake to this crap. I never be able to stop or turn this off. So it better be happening. So what do you think, Woodman?
Well, we listen to other people, just more than just Q. Come on, people. Let's
Yeah.
information comes from all kinds of different avenues.
We've already said that. That's a
like
good point, Woodman. I've said it. If
yeah,
you are familiar with how to research, or if you've been in the military and you're in the intelligence communities, you got to look at a lot of stuff. So for somebody to sit over here and try to tell you Q's not real, quit looking at it. What is their issue? Like, look at it and look at other things that you still look at. These people are like, Q's not real, folks. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, let's jump into this article. And now they're on like CNN or MSNBC reading an article. Well, isn't that a psyop?
right.
Isn't that not real? I mean, what in the hell?
Yep,
Makes
yep,
sense.
yep. Well, everybody, all you Patriots, Mike, Ben, Scott, I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a little different day for me. Today, I just had coffee. Tomorrow is popcorn day. I have my milk duds and my popcorn. People think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a slow transition. It really is. There's going to be tons of people around you under their thumb that will come up with all kinds of uh, any kind of a roadblock for you. If they say anything out of the ordinary or whatever, that means you've got to stop your train of thought and jump over there and understand or try to figure out what they're saying and try and defend that. That's taking time away from our positive stuff. Don't get sucked into it, people. I hope they're good at it. So, try and focus always on the truth. And the truth comes from a lot of people. I mean, the United States is full of a lot of intelligent people. We're all patriots, Communication, communication, communication. Love you all. Airborne.
Right on, brother. All right, that was Woodman, folks. We love when he joins in. We love when he's here. He'll be back tomorrow, just like Scott. Thanks for joining in. Folks, I want to say this. Remember this. All right, this, like Woodman was saying, this is a slow wake up. You can get woke up in the morning, wake up, some alarm going off, banging a pot and pan right by your head, whatever. Or you can, slowly, hey, get up. And this has got to be a slow wake up. It would have been a shock to everybody's system if you just get all the raw truth, things that you don't know to be true. We've been living under this. We've been asleep for a long, long time. And you have to be woken up to all the crimes. You have to be woken up to the system. We forgot how to play. We forgot that we had our own constitution. We forgot that we had a set of, unalienable rights, natural law. They've taken it. They've put themselves in between. People are waking you up slow. If you're not here to help, I've come across things that I don't believe to be true. I've said it on the show, and then I keep moving on. If you take something not to be true and you come to that conclusion, then you do that. I would do that on my channel. I just wouldn't look at it no more. I think their issue and a lot of these channels' issues are that don't want to do Q. Q has found them. Q has found them in their comments down below, in their live feeds, people hitting them up. Well, if you knew this would make sense to you because these people are fumbling. And they're like, Q's not real. And they're so hell-bent that they don't want to look that way at all at the information because they just believe it not to be true. What's not true when it talks about this country used to be united? We have this. So there's a lot of true statements in there. A lot of things that wake people up. If you're going to be woke up, you need to look at things other than that Q's not real and stay in that realm. It is a game that I will not talk about anymore. I don't even care to, I don't need to, it's just, I can see it. I can see it all. These people, they got nothing. They got nothing. All right, folks. Again, thanks for joining. I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless each and every one of you worldwide. We'll see you back here sometime later today or definitely tomorrow for a live stream. But I got a couple videos to put out. This will be one edited down a little bit. I got that one that you guys got to see in here. That goes out next. So again, have a great day into your afternoon. We'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour. God bless.